Hello, I hope you are all safe and healthy at home. Welcome everyone to the second day of the 2022 Mest African Challenge Regional Pitch Competitions. We had an amazing pitch event yesterday and we are looking forward to more exciting pitches this afternoon. This is the fourth edition of this Pan-African Pitch Competition and we are excited to be working alongside some of the continent's most promising tech startups for this challenge. Over the past months, we have reviewed applications from 5 African countries and have worked with experts to shortlist the top 36 companies, which we will hear from over the course of this week. Today's regional pitch final is part of 4 pitch competitions that will be happening throughout this week. Top startups selected from Kenya, Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria, and South Africa will pitch for the chance to be named their country's winner as they interact with key partners and expert judges, including investors, mentors, and ecosystem players and yourself. 10 startups will be selected at the end of the week to go into the next stage of the competition, the founder interview stage. Through the founder interviews, we will select the top 5 who will face it off at the grand finale and demo day in Ghana for a chance to win the ultimate prize of $50,000. So before I introduce today's regional finalists, I would like to thank our key partner, Absa Bank, who has committed as we are to supporting and growing tech talent and startups across the continent for making this possible. We would also like to thank our PEC and HAB partners for helping to drive applications and offering benefits to our finalists. That is CodeLane, Copianto, Spot, Impact Hub Dakar, Paystack, and Yflex. I will now introduce our judges that we are so lucky to have to join us today. I will let them each say hi to you all. Judge number 1, we have Huriato Dodo. He is the head of alternative business at Absa Bank. We also have Bright Tahido. He's a teaching fellow at Mest Africa. And Tony Dania, she's a project manager at DigiLogic. A little bit about how this is going to work. Each pitch will be 4 minutes long, followed by a 4-minute Q&A session by the judges. Companies are being judged on a variety of different criteria, including value proposition, impact, customer identification, size of the market, revenue model, competitor analysis, growth strategy, and traction to date. The deck will be controlled by the production team for continuity and connectivity sake, in case you are wondering why finalists are asking for the next slide. We will take a 10-minute break after the first 4 pitches and come back to hear from the remaining 4 startups. We expect to spend a maximum of 2 hours for today's entire session. We will read some audience questions as well as drop them in the chat Q&A box if you join via Zoom or in the comment section if you are watching on Facebook. Now, without further ado, let's begin with Boniface from Afriagrimark to present. Boniface, are you ready? Yes, we can hear.
Yes. Okay, I'm ready.
So Boniface, you have 4 minutes and your time starts now.
driver to be able to make delivery through the geolocation services. Go-to-market strategy, which is slide number 7. We're using the marketplace and the digital promotion, as well as local aggregators or agents who onboard farmers and farmer organizations to reach out to more small-scale farmers. Some of the partnerships on the next slide that we've created includes DreamSwap. We have FarmSky, who specifically finances farmers to scale and produce better quality. DreamSwap provides additional market for the export and for the farmers to be able to extend not just in terms of the production, but the markets that offer better prices. We make money on the next slide by charging 10% processing fee as well as 5% on the logistic cost. This sets us to scale our revenues from currently 50,000 all the way to 1.5 million by 2026. Some of the interesting parts, of course, include 600 vegetable vendors, 3,000 farmers, as well as an export partner. And for the last couple of years, we've been able to receive a couple of awards, including Global Problem Solver Challenge by Cisco. And this solution is backed by a great team, which includes those in operations, we ask you today to be to take this solution to the market and serve millions of small-scale farmers over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you, Boniface, right on spot. So over to our judges for Q&A.
If I may start. I think for me, nice presentation. What I did quite clear was what your unique value proposition was or is, because over here in Ghana, for instance, this solution is not new. There are a couple of
she also holds an MBA. We have Nick Katambi, who has a background in fashion There's a bit of background noise.
Sorry, time is out. So we move to the next startup, that is Pierre from Sprotly. Pierre, are you good to go? You have 4 minutes, Pierre.
Also gets paid on time and on their own terms with multiple means through manual cash, if they're making automated payments via subscriptions or even through cryptocurrency, we're able to back all of this. Now here's the card. Of the school year where there's a lot of work. In terms of our market size, Africa alone has a 250 billion educational spend and payments in the represented markets. Sorry, the echo again. And there are about 78 million low to middle class households and over 828 million young individuals between age 0 to 24 who need access to a truly borderless education, payment, access to finance, And we are targeting about 25% of that market, which is basically 625 billion US dollars. On our business model, next slide, please. Next slide. We make money from students. I apologize for the echo if you can't hear me properly, but there are not
technical hitches. Hello, Boniface. Hello, Boniface, can you hear me? Boniface, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Boniface. Yes, kindly hold on. We're experiencing some technical hitches. Our production team is working to resolve the sound. I would like to apologize to everyone on the call. Boniface, I think you take your presentation again. Kindly hold on a minute whilst we work to restore the sound. We apologize for the inconvenience caused. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. Okay, sincere apologies for the technical challenges that we're experiencing at our end. As I said earlier on, our production team is working to ensure we have a seamless session today. So sincere apologies once again. So right now, I think we'll take Pierre from Sproutly again. So Pierre, kindly take the lead.
All right. I also want to apologize and thank you for the second opportunity. My name is Pierre. Okay. I don't know. I can't see the presentation. Is the slide being presented now? It's basically a global one. It's also worthy to note that there are more private schools than public schools in Africa. We have basically 70% more private schools. Over 2,000 of these private schools shut down in Africa every new academic session. And when we spoke to some of them, when we started out, we had some of these customers onboarded who actually shut down before they resumed for the new session. And the common problem amongst them was basically bad debts and ridiculous unfriendly interest rates that they incur from banks. And Africa's young population alone will surpass 1 billion by 2050 and reach about 750 billion. So we need more schools to keep these kids educated. And if these private schools are shutting down, then how do we keep them educated? E-learning are coming up, but how can they actually afford to get to school to get this education they need? So on the solution slide, my team and I are making sure that students are banked in a way that prepares them for what's ahead. And secondly, we're making sure that their parents will not have to struggle to meet up with tuition fee or help plan things like educational security from day one. And we're doing it in such a way that it makes absolute sense to them, either through educational savings, educational plans, via paid subscription on our platform, or through educational credits. We call it Cowrie. It's basically study now, and then you get to pay in installments. So it's buy now, pay later, but the education kind of version. Or making sure that schools get paid on time and on their own terms via multiple means, either through manual cash collections, whether cryptocurrency, there's payment gateway for that, or even through automatic payments, and that they have access to infrastructure and operational educational loans, better than what banks would offer them. Banks would basically offer 25 to 35%. That's the margins you find, but we offer lesser than that because these schools are on our platform. Now, here's the catch. Our platform also offers parents access to short-term saving plans or long-term vault plans. So I mentioned earlier that it's basically similar to the US 529 plans where parents get to save for college for a long time with interest rates. And when it's mature, they can actually access this vault or flexi plan, which requires like 365 days of saving or less. Our educational plans, savings plans also extend to businesses such that organizations can contribute to or create plan for their employees. So it's basically like health management sort of coverage, but for education. And it's an insurance coverage up to 90 according to the beginning of the school year. Market size, please go to the market slide. I can't see, so I'm just trying to make sure that we are on the right slide. Africa alone is a $250 billion spend and payments on the represented markets. And there are about 78 million low to middle class households spread across Africa, with basically over 828 million young individuals between age 0 to 24. Now, this group of people need access to a truly borderless education, payments, and access to finance. And we proudly are targeting 25% of this total market, which is about $62.5 billion. And this is achievable because we being the first to do it and we being in the market makes it very accessible for the school. And we've been getting a lot of pull from these schools in terms of requests. Now, for business model, we make money from students through transaction charges because we bank them. These bank accounts are connected to the school. So for access to prepaid card services or one-time card use, even access to US dollar cards, they can actually do this to say, pay for a course on Udemy or Udacity or any edtech e-learning platform online. We also make money from parents using the same revenue model as the students. They have like their own banking part, but for them, we make money when they top up their wallet and when they access our credits, our carry credits via the interest rates of 0.5% per month. So once they collect this loans, it's spread across 4 months and 0.5%. So basically 2% repayments. And we also make money through divested floats from the educational savings. From the schools, on the other hand, we make money from transaction charges because we run some
Sorry
sort
to
of
cut in
banking
on you,
platform for them.
Pierre. Sorry to cut in on you. Your time is up. So we'll move on to the judges for the Q&A. And again, I'd like to apologize for the technical challenges that we experienced when we were pitching.
That's fine. I got to go twice.
You don't get to go again.
Yeah.
For the third time. So
Right.
over to our judges, please.
Okay, if I may start, please. I think nice presentation. I like the idea. To get the lending facility as a student. I think that's the key one. I didn't quite get that one. And also in terms of the default rate, what do you think the default rate would be? And would you need a bank to sort of underwrite this solution as is? Those were the questions bothering my mind. If you can help, yeah.
Okay, first is when we started out, or we just 3 months post-launch, we partnered with the bank here in Nigeria to actually facilitate these loans. And so we do a combination of basic KYC from the parents, we do lots of credit checks, and then we do a combination because if you're just running with credit checks, not many of these parents would actually qualify because we have the ones who are non-internet users. Then we also do lots of check with the school to determine if these parents are actually eligible. So the banks were the one bearing the cost of giving out this loan or the risk, but in a couple of months from now, where we're going to be able to grow our portfolios. Fund most of these loans. Now, in terms of default rates, what we do is once a parents actually qualify, we give them access to actually pay 100%, and everything is connected to the school. So it's not like these parents are getting the cash and spending it elsewhere. Most of these payments are going to go directly to the school. So it can only be spent within that ecosystem. And the parents have like split payments for 4 months to actually repay back. So rather than say you pay $100 for tuition for this term, you just get to pay $25, and then you pay another probably 25.5 the next month, spread for 4 months. The default rate we noticed in our pilot stage is less than 3%. And this was because the part of the repayment structure wasn't fully automated. And we've been able to solve that now. This solution is what parents are actually eating up. And in getting our money back, we also do what is called the GNI system, whereby all of the parents' accounts or every bank account that they have is actually connected to the Sparkly platform. So once they set the automation and they qualify for this loan, we go there at the time where this loan is matured and they've not repaid because they must have signed most of the terms and conditions, and we automatically do a debit from their accounts. That is if the default is getting too long.
Thank you, Pierre, and you did well considering you had so much interruptions. I really love the sort of buy now, pay later sort of model that you're using. I'm very interested to see who the clients are. Are they mostly men or women who are actually taking up your offer?
So the funny thing is, when you go to the school system, or basically K-12, you notice that you have more women involved in their kids' education. They handle most of the tuition. So the biggest adopters are actually the parents, like the females. But the way we run the parents' accounts is run in a joint format where both parents have access to the account. So all of the accounting, all of their services or banking services is linked to that one single account. So you as a mom, you are not bearing the brunt of educational savings plan that you have to renew or pay subscription. You're not bearing the brunt of having to pay back a credit that has been taken. Both you and your spouse are linked to that platform. But the originators are basically women. We have 60% more women than men there, but we know where the money actually comes from. It majorly comes from the men most times. So that is what we're seeing on our platform.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah. And it correlates with repayments. I know Horatio was asking about defaulting, and I think traditionally women are the least likely to default.
Women are really good at repaying, and the reason is many of them know that this solution is something that if they keep better credit rating, they would get access to more. So if your child is moving from basic primary school to secondary school, you know you're going to pay more in secondary school, and you have the leisure of, if you have 5 kids, we have parents in Africa having minimum of 5 kids. You have average of 5 kids. So rather than paying $100 for 5 kids at once, you get to just pay $25 every month for them to go to school. You have more money in your purse. So there is an ease of tension for most of these parents, and that is why the default rate is actually literally non-existent. But we are not on a large scale yet, so we can actually predict so much. But from what we're seeing now, it's actually less of a burden for the parents.
Great. And where are you? Are you focusing on Lagos, or you're going throughout Nigeria at the moment?
So we have we started up with Nigeria, and our Nigerian headquarters is here in Lagos. And what we want to do is, we know we share the same curriculum with other West African countries. We are under the WAEC, so it's easier for us to spread into countries like Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, the Gambia, and so on and so forth. So by next year, which is our second fiscal year, we plan to actually spread to at least 2 extra countries by just replicating what we've done in Nigeria. Nigeria can be one of the hardest and toughest markets to crack. So whatever we are able to achieve here, we can actually replicate that model in other West African countries.
Great, thank you so much. Good luck.
Yes, thank you.
The questions. So we move on with Kweku Tabri from Swoove.
Hello, thank you very much. Let me know when the slides are up. And I were working on a digital platform. It was basically a Shopify for African SMEs. And after 1 year and $40,000 in transactions, we realized a massive problem. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, and that was the issue of delivery. So for every $20 in sales that our SMEs were performing, we realized we're paying up to $8 for every delivery. And this is a massive problem if you're somebody trying to close sales online, especially for an SME. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, we realized that this problem was massive. Up to 40 million SMEs in Africa could be facing this particular problem. And we estimate that the delivery logistics space is valued at $21 billion by 2025. And this problem is growing 40% every single year. Go to the next slide. So we had an idea. What if we could drive down the delivery cost to less than 15% of every basket size sold online for these 40 million SMEs? We would be able to create a massive economic opportunity for the lives of these people who are operating these SMEs. Next slide. So we pivoted from what we're building to Swoove, and we decided to build a digital ecosystem that would enable SMEs to take their products basically beyond their actual current reach to any market in Africa. Next slide. Our core strategy is very simple. First, we build a platform to consolidate, digitize, and standardize delivery services and build a network. Then we build a platform that would enable SMEs to access these logistics services through our mobile application and through our web dashboard. With this, we're able to create a two-sided marketplace where we have both demand and supply existing and serving each other on the same platform. Next slide. To be able to service our market, we work with delivery service providers on the last mile who provide us with express delivery, storage hubs, same day and next day delivery, as well as working with larger 3PLs like DHL and FedEx, who give us an API that enable us to do intercity, international delivery, basically expanding our supply chain. Next slide. In order to use Swoove, customers can download our mobile application, use our USSD shorts code, or use our dashboard or our API to schedule deliveries either same day, next day, or 2 days, each option costing them less for the longer they wait. We then use, for all incoming deliveries, we then use an algorithm to batch all the deliveries into specific groups, trying to match customers from similar geographic origins to similar destinations, maximizing efficiency for the route. We then notify our delivery partners of every available delivery set, allowing them to assign riders who are registered on our platform to the deliveries that we've offered. Next slide. Our model enables us to create an end-to-end fulfillment solution that enables customers to store their packages with us at any of our hubs throughout the nation and to maximize their delivery costs or to minimize their delivery costs, or they can send directly to any customer across the nation for the best-in-class prices. Next slide. Our current revenue model is to charge directly for our delivery services. So on average, a customer pays $3 per delivery, and from each delivery, we make about a 30% to a 50% margin, which, as I promised, is approximately 12% of a $20 basket size. However, over the next 6 months, we'll begin charging for our storage services, our digital tools, and our financial services, allowing us to grow LTV from approximately $200 to about $500 over the next 6 months. Next slide. Swoove has been a journey of multiple pivots. Starting from Q1 of 2021, we've grown an average of 70% per quarter and 400% year on year, delivering approximately $1 million in goods carried for these vendors, serving 7,500 SMEs and completing 37,000 deliveries to achieve a revenue of $100,000. Next slide. We believe that.
Sorry, your time is up. So we'll move on to the judges for the Q&A.
I was hoping Tonya will start this time around. I think mine is only one question. So there's been a concern around taxes on e-commerce portals.
Yeah.
How does this solution solve that to help rake in some money for governments?
For government or for us?
Not for you, for the government.
For government. Okay. We're not in the business for raising revenue for government, but by boosting economic growth for the SMEs and enable them to sell online, they're able to close a lot more sales. One of the customers I was going to talk about was Jemima and Dr. Alberta, they've been able to increase their sales by about 50% because they've been able to give the customers the option of scheduling their deliveries like 1 or 2 days ahead. So for any product that isn't super expensive, they're actually able to sell it, right? So by facilitating such activities, we'll be able to generate significantly more tax revenue for our customers or for the government as well.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Kwaku, nice to see you. I would just question the fact that we've got quite a bit of, you're trying to go across markets and we've got quite a lot of different exchange rates, a lot of different currency. How are you coping with that, please?
At the moment, our biggest challenge is actually in Ghana. The currency, even though we managed to grow another 50% or so in the last quarter, the currency did fall by 50% as compared to the dollar. So what we're encouraging is for customers that are working cross-border, it's much better for you to directly push your products from wherever you're importing it directly into the country you're trying to serve you, right? So we'll help you with the clearance, we'll move it to the storage facility in country, and then we do the last mile delivery rather than going across borders in Ghana. The exchange rate is interesting when it comes from country to country, but platform allows us to offer exchange rates directly to whoever we're remitting cash to, because we do payments on delivery as well.
Thank you very much for that. That's my only question. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Kwaku, and thank you, our judges, for the question. So we'll move on to Tiano from PROXALYS.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Tiano.
Thank you. It's Abdullah from Cherno is missing. So I will be presenting for PROXALYS. Thank you. My name is Abdullah Fai. I'm the head of PROXALYS FinTech business unit. Thanks you for this opportunity given to us. PROXALYS is a startup that mainly targets informal actors in Senegal, and in Africa in general, in order to support them in digitalizing and modernizing, also to optimizing their working capital. So African F&B informal retailers face many problems that we can list. So we have the inventory management, we have the acquisition of long process, because today the small shop that you can find on the street, things like that, do have many products, things like that. She has to maybe contact 4 or 5 intermediaries to have the product itself. And finally, they have limited access to their working capital because banks are not dealing with informal actors. Next slide, please. So faced to these problems, so today we offer 3 solutions designed as a business unit. So we have the FinTech business unit that I manage with 2 mobile applications today. We have the Probotic and mobile apps that replace the shopkeeper and notebook and forecast to facilitate the payment collection. And we have also a marketplace, B2B marketplace, e-commerce, and an IT supply chain. So we process every order within 24 hours. And also PROXALYS Insights, it is for the data analysis for the CPG provider, the banks, and also telco. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned a while ago, today we launched 2 products. So we have the marketplace, where today we have 2 warehouses where we can stock the different products that the shopkeepers want to take. So a marketplace where they can process their order, and we are able to deliver each order into 45 hours. So we have also a Probotic. So it is a lending program. So where today we're physically or historically what they do. So the shopkeepers, much of our payments go through payment credit, because the consumer or the family, they can take some products with the retailers, and at the end of the month, when they get their salary, they go and pay. And so those shopkeepers was taking a notebook where they write those kind of transactions. So we have Probotic, which is a mobile application intended for merchants to replace their notebook, where they record also on credit on their dedicated consumer. And this also facilitation, we make a buy now pay later for our retailers. Our retailers, they can take products for us and to pay it within 2 or 3 weeks where they get paid with the consumer. Next slide, please. So the market size today, in Africa, we have 1.3 million. So it's the term, the global one. In Africa, we have more than 5 billion revenue from informal sector in Senegal. So in Senegal, mostly our economy turn around the informal sector. And we have like more than 200 million USD for the song. Next slide, please. So our business model is turned around in two categories. So we have the pro boutique, where we can give like cash advance to those retailers because they are giving their products, and at the end of the month or within 2-3 weeks, they don't have working capital to buy again products. So we can we have a pro boutique lending program, so we can give them cash advance. At the marketplace also we give them products. So if they buy products from us, so we applicate 10% of commission, or they can also take the products for a buy now pay later. And the ProCash is a collection payment where they can send payment reminders to the consumer, and the consumer with a link that they receive, they can pay through mobile money or through bank account. Slide, please. So our competition right now, we have like SocoWash, we have MAD, we have Trade Depot, where they are mainly focused on the e-commerce platform, and PROXALYS is today the biggest one who deal with to digitize in 100% to modernize also those retailers by giving them an application where they can order the product, and also an application where they can record the payment, the payment credits, the payment credit that they give to the consumer. And also we have also devices that we are building for now with Yoko, the partnership with Yoko, to build our own hardware for the software that the retailers are using day to day. Slide, please. So our traction today.
All right, sorry to cut in on you, Tiano. Unfortunately, your 4 minutes is up. So we'll move to the judges for Q&A.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiano. Am I saying your name correctly? Yes. Thank you very much for your presentation. Like I asked before, basically, how are you getting on with things like bad credit and the currency fluctuations with your lending model?
Yes, the lending model, what we do, we have to understand that we have 2 stages of lending program. So the first one is a buy now pay later. It means that the retailers, they can take products. It can be wood, it can be oil, it can be the products that they are selling daily. So take those products from us because they're giving cash advance or product they're giving on credit to their consumer. So we have like built today a application where we can score those retailers to know who is the best, who is the good repair, thing like that, and to applicate this buy now pay later. So the buy now pay later we applicate it on the products, and we have a cash advance also because some of them they want to have cash on their retail place to buy maybe other products that we are not able to give them because we don't have all the products. The reason why we are building a marketplace where today we can have like all those actors. It can be the supply side actors like PAPs. We can be also all of our let's say competitors to join the marketplace where today the retailers, once he's get in the marketplace, he has at least all the products or the services that he wants to do. But mainly we are scoring the retailers to give him the money, the cash advance, with our system of the scoring model system that we have built in our own. And we are also working with Credo Lab, with the SDK, who is like an India company who is like the best on that side.
Thank you very much. They're my questions.
None from me. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. So we've had 4 amazing pitches. So at this moment, we'd like to take a breather for a couple of minutes, and then we'll return the remaining 4 pitches. Stay tuned.
I'm Moses Malagan, the CEO of AgroInnova. I grew up in an environment where I saw my mom often goes to the backyard to harvest pepper, tomato garden eggs when she was cooking for us. There were moments where we had difficulties in paying school fees. My mom would harvest about 20 to 30 of our local chicken, the poultry, and sell them to pay our school fees. So as a child, I had this understanding that if I'm into agriculture, one, I can get food to eat. And second, anytime I need money, I can sell some of this produce and make money for me. So that been my drive, my motivation since childhood. AgroInnova was officially incorporated in the year 2017. We currently have products in 9 African countries. We had our first funding as a company through the Cosmos Innovation Center. And then we had our business incubation at Meltwater Entrepreneur School of Technology, Mest Africa, where we validated our product and built a lot of our software. As a company, we are focused on digitizing agriculture in Africa. And by this, I mean building climate smart technologies like our FBS Innova app, which provide weather information and guide farmers to know how to go about with farming activities and making them adaptive to global climate change. We have Cocotakra, which empowers, formalizes the farming activities of livestock farmers and make them take data-driven decisions. We first provide inputs like maize for the livestock farmer to start feeding the livestock. We help the farmer now connect the farm produce as poultry, eggs or chicken to ready and guaranteed market through our Coco Market platform. And then we have the Cocotakra Farm Management app. So it's a bundle of services we provide, unlike our competitors who are doing one service or another. We have a very strong team as a company. All our mobile apps or software products are in-house built, which give us a leverage above our competitors. All our poultries are categorized into certain types. So we have pullets, small, medium, large, extra large, and all of this comes with their own reference weights, which brings standard and uniformity in the space. And I think it has been a challenge because most of these people are not used to this. So bringing this thing up is a bit challenging, but the response is quite positive, and we are hoping over years it will be widely adopted and accepted by all. Looking at the agri-tech space, I want to talk about two trends. First of all is the adoption, and the second is the funding. Farmer in the Bono region of Ghana, specifically Doma, would want to sell the poultry eggs. Hitherto will have to travel almost 8 to 10 hours to Accra to look for market. But with what AgroInnova is providing through our marketing platform, the farmer will just dial to a short code, star 713, star 83 hash, and get the farm produce connected to a standby buyer. And so with all these things, it's encouraging and it's serving as a value for farmers to adopt this whole digitization. Also about funding, gradually there's a trend of training and VCs now opening their focus and also their wings to support agri-tech businesses, and a lot of programs now are coming in which focuses strictly on agri-tech because digitization is the way to go, and getting data means big money, and so that's the trend I've observed. I think they are very positive trend I'm very excited about. AgroInnova has evolved over the years. Currently, the company is kind of a decentralized leadership. I prefer calling my team leads or leaders than to calling them managers. I believe they should be able to lead wherever they find themselves. But before they're able to lead, you have to get them empowered psychologically, and by so doing, you get them to be committed in getting the outcome or getting the work done. AgroInnova is at the verge of digitizing agriculture in Africa. I want to encourage the youth to get themselves involved in agriculture because this whole digitization is good to get the youth who are easy to use these technologies to be involved in agriculture to make it much better. Looking at the economy, we are still at the stage of agricultural production and we are not even able to produce enough. So let's get ourselves involved. I'm a young person and the entire AgroInnova team are young ladies and young men who are changing the narrative of our agriculture, and we need you out there as a youth to also come and join us, change this narrative and also make a living out of it.
Kedu asusu nembo anyocha.
Ema mikrom kasa eye twi.
Yanga chiko dorotimbe kesango.
Moko geme urobo meje.
Ngaibana jawu jemi no jenoni.
Wanini Ekram Ovi Ibira. Eye me nije bebre se me ka Mest ebusia no ho.
Ina matakar farin cikin zama ɗaya daga cikin ɗaliban Mest.
Nkikelo bai kinu ekudi Mest.
Onpa enyini mi ja Mest emu. Mo sì fẹ́ràn bí a ṣe ń kóni mọ́ra. Ní pàápàá mo fẹ́ràn bí
duti ngona popo tise wati messenger na beti mi mingi teneti swala mana pena ndoye sarango kwati qualite teneti azokwe.
I'm so happy to be part of the Mest family, and I strongly believe in the Mest values.
Ayemuye, areshemu, ene achrepomu.
Golo golo, eru, viuremu.
Nkumti, nya, mpauche, ntinti.
Together we make up the Mest African community.
Mest power!
Hello. Hi guys. Hi, my name is Mark Mutai from Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm the CEO of MOBI-REMIT. MOBI-REMIT is an online cross-border money transfer platform that debits a sender's payment card or bank account and instantly credits the recipient's mobile wallet or bank account, earning a transactional fee. We are a pioneer in non-face-to-face transactions, and the service is accessible via web or mobile app. Now, the problem with legacy remittance systems is that they are inconvenient, as in sometimes you find the sender has to physically go to a bank location or an agent location to manually deposit funds to release the transfer of funds. The sender may also need to have to tediously fill up paper forms every time they need to send a transfer, or they even need, or even the location to receive the funds. Legacy transfer systems are also time consuming in that from the transfer intention to the fund delivery takes a long time for the recipients to get their monies. Now, they also have limited service availability because they normally work between 9 to 5 p.m. Now, the problem with newer online remittance systems is that they face a lot of challenges in managing online fraud. This, as a result, creates chargeback liability, which they have to bear it as a loss on their end. So our solution provides instant transfers, and the sending and receiving of funds can be done from the convenience of one's phone or computer anywhere and at any time. We have intelligent security algorithms and processes for fraud detection and prevention. So we are currently serving 6 receiving countries, that is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and Botswana. And it's good to know that we currently are just having organic traction for the countries mentioned. But we plan to increase and enter new markets in at least 20 new receiving markets within the coming year. I'll request that we skip to the market size slide. So the annual average remittance for Kenya is 2.4 billion USD, while the global market size for remittance is 689 billion USD. So assuming a 5% market share and with the average gross commission of 7%, we're looking at a total of 2.4 billion USD in projected annual revenue. Let's move over to underlying magic slide, please. Underlying magic slide, please. Online payment fraud presents a significant challenge for this model. However, our intelligent in-house algorithms for fraud detection and prevention drastically reduce the chances of chargeback liability. Using this system, we have not had any single instance of chargeback fraud for more than 3 years now. So, and with that, we are able to offer the instant end-to-end money transfer processes, and also the availability is 24/7 compared to other models. So currently, we're also raising funds, and we hope to raise funds to cover the pre-funding of the float account, which is like our inventory account, and to cover some marketing costs. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. Right on time. Over to our judges.
widely on the markets, and I saw some of the names of your of the competitors. Can you please throw a bit more light on that for me, please? Thanks.
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, as for managing fraud, we have already developed and we continue to develop very strong algorithms to combat fraud. You know, in our initial year, we faced a lot of challenge with a lot of chargebacks that set us that we ended up having a loss in the first year of business because we had not factored that, and that actually, in retrospect, it pushed us more towards the security side and making sure that we were able to handle chargeback fraud, which is very, very, very rampant in this field. So we worked hard and we developed the algorithms to an extent that we've not had any chargeback for the last 3 years.
Rachel, have you finished?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mark, for your presentation. Very, very interesting. I'm interested in the fact that you're currently working in East African countries and the fraud for that area will be quite similar in terms of how you prevent it. So what are the 3 new markets you're looking to go into, and are they in different parts of Africa for you to then have a different fraud module?
Yes. We'll be looking to enter more markets in Africa using an aggregator who will help us, the end bit for making the payouts is what would be required. So using a single integration with a specific aggregator that we have in mind, we would be able to enter other markets in Africa, 20 other markets in Africa with a single integration.
So that's 20 new markets.
Hello?
You said 20 new markets.
Hear, but...
Sorry, did you say 20 new markets?
Yes, please.
With 1 aggregator. Okay, thank you.
Please.
I just want to be clear. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, I guess that'll be all for you, Mark. Thank you very much, judges. And next, we have Chinedum we have Rebecca from AWI Agricultural Venture.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Rebecca, and your time starts now.
Okay, we have always imagined ways to end hunger and poverty in Africa, but in spite of many solutions having been proposed, Africa still remains the poorest continent in the world. Welcome to Africa Wealth Initiative, an agri-tech platform that aids economic development in Africa. To change the negative narration about Africa, we have created a structure that addresses low farm production by initiating cluster focus groups. We have also enhanced this produce by using agriculture. We have Farm on Your Phone that ensure adequate training and support for small farmers. We have Farm to Table to enhance food production and our marketplace to enhance commerce. By 2050, a quarter of the world's population will be Africans, which means a need for more food production and sustainable food production. Most smallholder farmers do not have access to machineries, which leads to low production. Most of our rural communities do not have infrastructure. Lack of education and fragmented farms lead to low production and a lot of losses. The AWI Agritech platform leverages group economies where consumers sponsor farms for food production and economic opportunities. Our value proposition is community target cluster initiative. We also ensure training for farmers to ensure sustainable production. We create near farm processing center to reduce post-harvest waste, and we take the produce to market, selling on our marketplace. Our vision is to build a viable, sustainable, and resilient African economy through implementation of simple, inclusive, and innovative business solutions in the agricultural sector. Our long-term goal is to improve the livelihood of African poorest community by empowering smallholder farmers, entrepreneurs, and business owners. Our team comprises of business experts in agriculture, in technology, and business development and marketing. With our current operational capacity, we will be able to capture $3.4 million, which is 5% of 77.4 Nigerian consumers' market expenditure in the next 3 years. These are some of our competitors, but our value proposition that uses community target cluster farms, near farm processing center to reduce post-harvest waste, and a digital platform to increase food production and distribution. We leverage group economics to ensure adequate training and finance for farmers, which are managed by agripreneurs, and produce harvested are stored in our marketplace. We generate incomes from sales of farm produce, from sales of farm services, trainings, and commissions from merchants. We started our marketing from WhatsApp, and we have gone up to building our own app. We use online marketing, and we use community offline marketing to get our sponsors and consumers as active stakeholders in the food production process. By December 2023, we'll be able to empower 200 more smallholder farmers, 200 agripreneurs, and generate over $250,000 in profit. We have been able to raise $35,000 in grants and $50,000 in group economics. Since 2020, we've been able to finance over 100 smallholder farmers. We generated over 1,000 tons of fresh food delivered to home through our farm to table app, generated over $1,000 in profit for consumers and smallholder farmers. Our solutions have attracted recognitions and awards across Africa and beyond. We offer equity investment of 10% to investors. We need $1.2 million to empower 200 smallholder farmers and train 200 agripreneurs in our target community currently to restore it back as the food basket of Nigeria and improving the livelihood of over $70,000 rural dwellers. In Africa, economic development from agriculture is 11 times more effective at reducing poverty than any other sector. And consumer financing is expected to reach $2.1 trillion by 2025. Adopting the AWI platform, which leverages group economy, can easily improve Africa's economy. I invite you to join me as we build a healthy and wealthy Africa. Thank you. My name is Rebecca.
And thank you very much, Rebecca. Right on time. Over to our judges for Q&A.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Rebecca. I don't have very many questions. I was very impressed with everything that you said. Yeah, I just want to say well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No question for me too.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next is Chinedum from Royalty Digital. Chinedu, your time starts now.
Now, Royalty.io is a catalog, royalty, and accounting system for music companies and artists. Next slide, please. The problem we address is a lack of unified and specialized tools for managing music catalog, artist contracts, also consolidating and analyzing music royalty data, as well as automating revenue and expense accounting and reporting in the music industry. Next slide. Most companies today mostly use spreadsheet applications like Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets to perform a lot of the music business tasks. Now, this solution doesn't scale, speaking from experience, and is also prone to a lot of human errors. Next slide, please. Our solution is providing a platform that digitizes a lot of these processes as well as provide personalized dashboards for both music company admins as well as their assigned artists and songwriters to have personalized view of their royalty data and accounting records. Next slide, please. So what everybody gets is a very intuitive and easy to use and understand personalized dashboard of their data of royalties, monies, payments, and expenses. Next slide, please. It gives the value it gives music companies, easy management of data, quick and accurate access to royalty and data analysis, as well as provide in more informed data-based business insights and decisions. Next slide, please. So our targets is our solution serves recording artists and songwriters, record labels with a number of signed artists under them, as well as digital distribution companies and aggregators. So digitize basically the music business for these sets of people. Next slide, please. The market, our target market is a $12.6 billion segment out of the 2.3 global entertainment and media industry. We're looking to provide, start with the target sector and then grow out to the bigger markets. Next slide, please. Our business model is running a B2B and B2C subscription with plans starting from $50 and upwards. Next slide, please. We stand out from our competitors because we provide a specialized tool built specifically for music companies of any size, and our solution is very, very easy to use and understand for both music companies as well as their artists under them. Next slide, please. We launched a private beta back in February and currently on track with our planned roadmap. Next slide, please. We have been heavy on inbound and outbound marketing and looking to do a lot of more strategic partnership with music companies and other collectives. Next slide, please. For our projection, we're looking to gain a cumulative $1.8 million by year 5. And the team, next slide, please. Currently analyzing 400,000, next slide, 400,000 in royalties monthly with signed on to us in February. Next slide, please. The team is led by myself. I've been working in the music and entertainment industry for almost a decade. Next slide. And we're advised by music industry experts, both in Nigeria and around the world. Next slide. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chinedu. Over to our judges.
Okay. If I may start, I'll say it's kind of different, and I like the idea that you've moved away from the norm. So nice idea, and we hope this actually works out well. I think it's more of a comment than a question, actually. Thanks.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chinedu. Yes, this is a very worthwhile addition to the marketplace. You've only been going since February, so what is your traction to date, please? I know you've talked about the marketing and how you're going to go about recruiting people, but what sort of comments have you got for this particular app you've got?
Okay, so we launched the private beta, which building slowly in February, and we, through word of mouth, we've gotten more than 10 companies using us, but actively out of more than that 10, we're active. Between 5 and 10 are active, and combined those companies, they have most of them are mostly digital distribution companies, combined with about 3,000 artists as clients or artists under them. So we have 2 record labels and distros. So they really jumped on the solution and and they have also kind of advised on features to add and build. So there's really a lot, like we've really been active building, getting comments from the customers. In fact, a lot of them are also looking to become investors in the company. So reception has been quite good in the industry, and it's kind of a problem that has been lacking a solution like this for quite a while now.
Great. I'll just give you some encouragement to add some of that to your presentation, because that really solidifies the whole proposition you're sharing with us.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, judges. So the last page for today is John from Bridge Merchant.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I can't see the slide yet.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Bridge Merchant. We are an agribusiness and agri-tech company looking to solve post-harvest wastage in Africa. According to the United Nations, food wastage is a global problem, but in Africa, it accounts for about 50%. Next slide. Out of this 50%, 40% occurs just during harvest and just immediately after harvest. Another problem that farmers face is that in Africa, we struggle with integrating new technologies like Agri-Tech 3.0 and Agri-Tech 4.0, which has kind of like limited our production capacity around the continent, although 60% of arable lands around the world are located in Africa. Next slide. So currently, problems farmers face and other aggregators as well as other businesses within the space is that they have issues with logistics, they have issues with awareness and visibility. So people who want to buy from them, companies, processors, they don't know where these farmers exist, and this is part of the problems we exist to solve. So how we are looking to solve that problem? Currently, we have built a big app that allows us to onboard agents. Now, these agents live around these farmers in the rural areas. So they help onboard these farmers, put up their data and make it accessible to companies, other aggregators, and the general market. The app also allows us to share resources for agents to actually educate farmers on better practices for farming and harvesting. Now, the market size, according to McKinsey, was valued at 5 trillion. Next slide. In Nigeria alone, that market size was calculated to be about 23.4 billion. And Bridge Merchant, we are targeting to be able to address a 120 million market by our next 5 years of operations. So what makes us different? We are not just creating a marketplace for farmers, agents, and companies or buyers to connect. We actually operate along every part of the agribusiness chain. We are decentralized, hybrid, and then we provide extension services. Next slide. So our uniqueness actually spans from the fact that we are providing warehousing as a service, because one of the issues we found that exists in the industry is that about 40% of food produced, they have a very big issue with storage. So warehousing has been a very paramount issue we're trying to solve. So we are creating like a decentralized warehousing system where people can lease out properties and we help condition them so farmers can have access to more silo farms. We also provide opportunities for agents, aggregators, and farmers to have access to this storage. So even if you are not part of our farmers or our agents, you can use our storage and transport networks to do your daily running. So in that, we are an infrastructure for other businesses to actually leverage on. We make money from commissions, from premium charges, and then from subscriptions from our app for those that use our app to actually get access to these farmers. In the past 2 years, we've been able to actually process revenue of about $35,000, but we are projecting that once we are fully in the market with our app, we'll be able to actually facilitate transactions of about 50 million within the next 3 years. So far, we've been able to do about 16 successful procurements, engaging 5 companies and 70 farmers. But as we started building our app, we've actually started engaging more agents. We have about 245 farms that are currently shown interest, and we are talking to about 300 agents spread across Nigeria. And this is just a little bit of feel of how our app looks like. It's our prototype and it's currently still in testing. Our go-to-market strategy, we currently engage agents and farmers network, and these agents actually, they've been the key inputs to our development processes. So we already have a hold on the market currently. And this is the team. My CEO, who is a US tech woman awardee, currently she's in San Francisco, which is why she's now available for this pitch. She has been in the agribusiness space for about 7 years, And I myself, I have an advanced diploma for marketing and business with Google Squared UK. We also are working with Joel Patonode, who has about 15 years experience in the agribusiness space. We are looking for funding to be able to actually build more warehouses and get more trucking units, and also expand our tech.
Thank you very much, John. Unfortunately, your time is up. Over to our judges for questions.
Thank you, John. Very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. I haven't seen anything about growing. So you said that you want to achieve 50 million in the next 3 years. So is that going to be solely in Nigeria, or you're going to look to other countries, please? In terms of about that.
Okay, so our pilot location is Nigeria. We actually built the app testing in Nigeria, but of course the solution was built with the entire African continent in context. So we are looking to once we've solidify our agent onboarding mechanism, we plan to actually spread through West Africa and then launch in other African countries. So that's the plan.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, for me, it would be more around, you did mention that you are playing in the entire value chain when it comes to the agribusiness. I also did see your team, but how do you have any partnerships that help you drive this business, or it's just the team of, I think, about 4 or 5 as you should?
Okay, so currently we are in talks with, we're also selected for the Thought for Food Foundation competition, which I just came back from in the US 2 weeks ago. So we are currently in talks with Sinisana, who is like a tracking software company in the US. Also, the core team has just been focused on working with agents and then building the app, because we know that the solution for post-harvest wastage is not something we can do on our own, which is why we've created an opportunity for everybody to plug in. So we're looking to work with other aggregators, we're looking to work with other agribusinesses, we're looking to work with other processing companies and as well as production companies. So for us, the key thing for us is just to actually build the core infrastructure for others to be able to plug in.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, John, and thank you, our judges. I think we are going to take one more presentation from Boniface. That is the first presentation. We noticed that we experienced some sound challenges when he was pitching, so it will not be fair if we don't allow him the opportunity to pitch again. So Boniface, if you can hear me, your time starts now.
Of aggregators who facilitate collection of the produce, as well as drivers on the platform who make immediate pickup and then deliver these products. Now, the story is really backed by the challenges small-scale farmers experience. 33 million providing 65% of the food we consume, yet they've become the definition of poverty across the continent. This is because they lack proper markets, they can sell their produce at the right prices, and almost every single time they've remained below the poverty level. On the other side of the supply chain, of course, are just vendors who are not able to source quality produce and experience post-harvest losses. What we are introducing as Afriagrimark is a platform that facilitates and also optimizes the supply chain. Vendors are able to make an order. Orders are aggregated, channeled to our aggregators or agents on the ground who help collect the produce and then notify the driver who is the closest to the location to make immediate delivery. This helps us cut down on the time spent to deliver the product, while at the same time maximizes on the prices that the farmers are able to get. So on the next slide, please. So basically, when you look at this solution, the market right now, we have 2 billion, and this is projected to 1 trillion. In Kenya, it's 7.2 billion. We're looking to capture 30% of this market. And in the next slide, we recognize that we are not the only people in the market. Our competition like Twiga Foods, M-Farm, and other competition across Africa has shown us that this space is very lucrative to invest in. What sets us apart, however, from them is that we have identified with our geolocation technology a way to align, just like an Uber delivery or a fulfillment, any other logistical method, that our vendors can actually get their produce delivered directly from the farmer without passing through the middlemen who usually undercut these farmers. Next slide. So our go-to-market strategy is pretty much simple. We have a marketplace that our clients can plug into. We also have a marketplace where existing suppliers can plug into. We are partnering with our local aggregators as well as farmer organizations. Next slide. So for the last 2 years, we've created a partnership with a UK-based company who's opened the market for our farmers in the Middle East and Europe. We have FarmSky. We specifically invest on our small-scale farmers to increase their productivity and improve quality, as well as Geometry Analytica, who handles our back-end technology services. Next slide. Now, using a revenue model where we are charging 10% on fulfillment orders, we'll be able to increase our revenues from the current $50,000 up to about 1.5 million in 2026. Next slide. And to date, we have 600 vegetable vendors on the platform. We also have a pipeline of 1,000 additional restaurants on the platform who we are currently converting. We have 3,000 farmers. We have 5 partners, and we have an export partnership that we've already signed an initial letter of intent to obtain avocados from farmers. To date, we've received several awards, including Global Problem Solver Challenge by Cisco, Give Work Challenge, as well as we're receiving consultancy service from American-based company called Somersos and Kenya Climate Innovation Center, the biggest green business organization here in the country. We're doing a revenue of $5,000 per month, and we have already raised more than $33,000. The team is backed by a professional team who have a background in operations. Our head of operations has a 13-year experience working across 5 East African countries. I hold a 7-year startup experience, and we have Linda Kathambi, who is our CTO, and she oversees development of the entire platform. We go a finance officer, software developer, and additional 15 team members currently backing the project. So
right.
the investment.
Thank you very much, Boniface. Your time is up. Over to our judges.
Thank you, Boniface. I can see by finishing the presentation, you have everything about your team. So thank you very much for that. And that was my main question, because I can see you've got a lot of work to do. And I can see with 15 people plus the team members you mentioned, that goes a long way to answer my question. Thank you very much for pitching again as well.
Thank you.
I think for me, I did ask all my questions the first time, so I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So at this stage, we'd like to take our final remarks from our judges.
Okay, so thank you all very much. I've got quite a few notes that I'm going to put up on the score sheets for you all. Really exciting to see the different types of ideas that have come through today, and some of you are already in business and some of you are just at idea stage. Thank you very much for all of your presentations. It's been really enlightening. Thank you.
Same here. I think for me, I've learned a lot and gotten a couple more new ideas. So I appreciate the presentation, and may the best person win. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, judges. What an exciting experience witnessing the pitches today, despite the technical challenges that we experienced. We'd like to thank we'd like to thank the startups for sharing such exciting pitches, our judges for great insights and feedback, and once again to our key partner, that is APSA, PEX and her partners, VC, Google for Startups, Henny, Hotspot, Impact Hub Dakar, Paystack, and Wiflex. and most importantly, to our audience for joining us today. Tomorrow we'll hear from Lithium LLC, Zima Charge, Dots for Inc., M. Swally, Utopia Technologies, Tumel Technologies, HISA, My Food Angels, and K-Ford ASS. You can join us on Zoom, our Facebook or YouTube channels. Thank you all and have a great rest of your day. I have been your host for today, and my name is Daniel Delali. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.